The time has finally come. It is time to start my Puzzle & Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition series. A YouTube series I have been wanting to do for who knows how long. Basically, since when I got this game, before I even had the ability to record my 3DS. Heck, before I really even had my YouTube channel. And the main reason why is because if you were to do a YouTube search of Puzzle & Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition, you will barely find any videos. This game just completely ignored for some reason. It's kind of strange because this is a Mario game. How does the community just kind of forget that this game exists a good chunk of the time? But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to not just play through this game, but to do as close as possible to a 100% playthrough. I say close as possible because this is not going to be a short series in the slightest. This game is very hard, very grindy, very long, especially when you combine those last three elements. It's just not gonna be the easiest thing, but I'm willing to do that. Primarily because I've set up something very, very special for this series. That is the main reason why it took me this long to start to record it, when I could have had the series started like 2 years ago, maybe even 3. But yeah, it's time for us to hit a new game, because this is my other setup. One day in the Mushroom Kingdom, bright orbs popped up at Princess Peach's castle, right out of nowhere. Princess Peach invited Mario to the castle to show him these wondrous orbs, but just as he came near... Mario and Princess Peach has been stolen away by Bowser and his baddies. See, it's right here in this letter. Hey Mario, I grabbed Peach and taken those orbs. Got a problem with that? You know where to find me. Bowser. It's bad enough that Bowser took the princess, but his crew stole these orbs too. Bowser's minion's Kamek and has used the powers of those orbs to make things even worse. He cast a spell that flooded the Mushroom Kingdom with more orbs, and now they're everywhere. Hey Mario, I've got an idea, Mario. I bet you can use the orbs too. Let's rescue Princess Peach, or just rescue Peach, and we'll figure out how to use these orbs along the way. Oh, and the touchscreen. The Kamek spell has also resulted in some enemies being trapped inside baddie boxes. You'll find it open these baddie boxes and enemies be inside something. I didn't mean to press A, to be honest. Here are 2 baddie boxes. Let's open them to get allies inside. The main gameplay aspect is a whole bunch of different allies. Goomba joins their team at level 1, of course. And we also get a blue one. Now we have a green Koopa Troopa joins their team, also at level 1, but that's fine. You got 2 allies, they'll be great for your team. Let's head into the first course. I don't even need to press a single button, it just does it for me. Before entering the course, you need to select a helper. The helper will support your team during the course. Well, what's a helper called? Why can't I select Luigi? It won't let me select Luigi. I have to select Red Toad. Anyways, there's a bunch of information on here. I'm just gonna, like, ignore it for now. Because there's a bunch of things that I'm also gonna need to get into myself. Excuse me. I'm also gonna be drinking a lot of water because I'm gonna be talking a lot. I know that for sure. Anyways, your first team is ready. Now let's head into the course to start your adventure. And I feel bad because I'm gonna kind of essentially break the flow of the tutorial really quick. So the way this layout works, by the way, is that on the left is the touchscreen and the right is the big screen. Obviously from like screen proportion wise, but the main reason why I did this is because the touchscreen is you care a lot more about the touchscreen than you care about the main screen. At least from a gameplay aspect, from a visual standpoint, you honestly care more about the big screen, but I don't care. You're seeing both screens, and in this format, because why not? You'll use these orbs to battle your way through the course. Thank you for matching up no combos there. You can move an orb freely just like that, changing the position of other orbs. You'll clear orbs by matching 3 or more horizontally or vertically. A fire ally attack, a water ally attack, a wood ally attacks, and HP restore. That's what they are. The red one is a fire attack, the blue one's a water attack, the green one's a wood attack, and the heart is HP recovery. These are your teammates. They'll attack if the orb you clear match their element. The enemy will attack when the turn counter above it reaches 0. You see that little thing, the number. This is your hit points total. You'll lose if you run out of HP. You can recover some by clearing heart orbs. Try to clear some orbs. Drag and drop the glowing orb to the bottom row. Watch how you make a match as you drag. See, I would do that, but I do have other goals I need to do. And it primarily just talks about the fact that, well, this is a Goomba, and we're fighting a Goomba, and you might want to know a lot about Goombas in particular. And this is the whole reason why this series took way too long to actually start recording. It's as simple as that, to be honest. Okay, it is time for us to talk about Goomba! Will help us introduce all the information that you see on screen right now. So there's over 170 different allies in this game, and I want to make sure that you know everything about all of them. I played this game a little too much, so I know a good chunk of this stuff. There's a reason why I need to reveal all this. So, I just want to say this right now. What you see on screen right now, everything that you see is only relating to enemy bios. There are 4 different types of bios I'll be covering. There's leaders, helpers, enemies, and bosses, but right now we only care about enemies since right now we only see Goomba right now. So, basically all the information you see is all about enemies in particular. Now we have, now on the top left we have the ally card. This is what they will look like in all the menus. In almost every single menu, you will see this is how an enemy will be portrayed. And then next to it is the orb icon. There's the orb attribute or whatever. An ally can have 1 or 2 orb attributes, and repeats are allowed. Now, because I am stubborn and I play a lot of Pokemon, I'm just going to be referring to this as a type, because it's going to be quicker and easier for me to do that. The thing right below that are the stats, which are represented in stars, showing which stat is high or low. HP and attack can have a minimum of 1 star, but a maximum of 6 stars. However, RCV, which stands for recovery, is a little strange. It can actually have a minimum of 0 stars, but a maximum of 6 stars. Now again, because I play Pokemon too much, I'm just gonna be referring to this as base stats, because this is kind of fundamentally altering, like, which stat is their strongest and which stat is their weakest. Now, the thing right below that are skills. There are 2 different types. Now, regular skills are moves that an ally can use after specifically this many turns. As you can see in the corner, you have the number 10. That's how many turns it takes for that to charge up that skill before you can use it. There are literally only 2 skills in the entire game that get repeated over multiple enemies. Other than that very specific occasion, every single skill is unique to a very specific enemy. Now, awoken skills are a little different. I'm just gonna say this right now. If you're not in World 6, or more accurately, are in the post-game, you don't really care about awoken skills, since you won't even have access to awoken skills until then. Regardless, awoken skills are a passive, more always active version of skills, and repeats are allowed. Okay, now in the middle you actually see the transformation line. This shows what an ally can transform into, and an ally can have multiple transformations, along with multiple paths of transformations. Now on the top right, we have item drops. Every enemy can drop items depending on circumstances. Getting a combo of 10 or higher will 100% guaranteed drop their 10 plus combo item. However, if you're getting a combo of 1 to 9 may drop either of their random items, but they also do have a chance to just drop nothing. Keep that in mind. Now the last 2 things are the things that probably took the longest. Actually no, it was the item drops and the enemy skills were the things that took the longest to figure out. Now, below are enemy skills. These Now, enemy skills are skills that an enemy can use when you fight the enemy. An enemy can have multiple skills, and repeats are allowed. Now, at the very bottom middle section, you'll see locations. Now, I'm not gonna list off every single location that you can find enemies. So instead, I'm just gonna be listing off the first time that you ever fight this enemy, and a level I would recommend you fight them in case you want to grind any of their item drops. Hopefully that wasn't too much thrown at you, and it should make more sense the more bios that we do. But without that all out of the way, I can actually finally talk about Goomba! You know, for being one of the first allies and first enemies that you obtain, he's actually pretty good. He is wood type, which is pretty good. His base stats are not that strong, with only 2 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, and 1 star of recovery. But they aren't bad, especially with its skill Bash, which does 10 times wood damage to a single foe. This is oftentimes just free damage that you can deal without having to use up your turn, which is very valuable, especially in the late game. Now, as Awoken skills Wood Boost, it's not. I wouldn't recommend like awakening any of your allies that aren't fully transformed. But Wood Boost isn't terrible if you really need to transform, if you really need to awaken Goomba for some reason. Although I really still don't recommend you do. Now, its item drops consist of a wood block and a Goomba coin if you defeat it with a 1-9 combo. Getting a 10+ combo does guarantee drop at a Goomba coin, which is actually pretty useful, because there's actually a lot of enemies that actually transform with Goomba coins. Now, its enemy skill is Bash, which is literally just its regular attack, but just stronger. Not the most interesting, but definitely still keep that in mind, because it can do a lot more damage than you think it can. Now, its locations, you obviously are going to fight Wonderworld 1-1, but I would also recommend you go to that exact level, because you will see them a lot in that case. Oh boy, that was a lot! And now we can actually continue with the tutorial a little, because now it actually wants us. So now it's showing us that we want to clear some fire orbs. Okay. So thank you for the tutorial kind of helping us out there, showing us how we can move forward, because the more orb chains you clear with a move, the greater your total damage will be. This also relates to the amount of HP that you will heal when you recover orbs. You can move an orb around the orb field until you run out of time, which is that little timer that you see. Your team wins, and every single time you defeat an enemy, you get XP and coins. Yep, your teammate will gain experience points after a battle. They'll level up if you gain enough XP, and you get money. You can also win coins, which is useful, you'll be able to spend later in your adventure. You actually only have one purpose for coins, but it's actually a good purpose. Alright, Goomba appeared. If you encounter more than one enemy, there is a way to attack them all at once. To launch a group attack, clear 5 or more orbs in a line. Give it a try, match 5 red orbs. So you have this fire orb over here. Oh, please try again, please. I'm just trying to let go. As you can see, if we match up 5 in a group like that, it'll be considered a group attack, and you can attack multiple, or all the enemies even, not multiple. Just all of them. Yay! Alright, Gary and Koopa Troop appeared. Anyways, your team will also give you special skills that can help you activate. To see their skills, touch the skills button on the lower screen. Sorry right now, tutorial, but I have something else I need to talk about right now. It's called Green Koopa Troopa. Despite being green, he's actually a water type. I don't understand, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Anyways. Green Koopa Troopa, water type with 3 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, and 1 star of recovery. That extra HP is actually kind of important for its final transformation, but that's later. Its skill is Green Shell, which simply changes your wood orbs into water orbs. This isn't that useful, but it's not bad. You can always get a lot of use out of orb changing skills, but it's not the most useful thing to do. Now, its Awoken skill is Water Boost. It's not the most useful thing because you would rather transform Koopas. Which, speaking of which, I'm gonna kind of ignore transformations right now because we don't have access to it, but we will have access to that pretty soon. Now, its item drops. It can randomly drop a water block, but if you actually defeat it with a 10+ combo, you actually get nothing. It doesn't have a 10+ combo item, which is really interesting. This isn't the last time you see this, however. many enemies will not. There are some enemies. A lot of times the first transformation of an enemy or like the first form of an enemy will never have a 10+ combo item. But its enemy skill is Green Shell, which actually nullifies damage, a type of damage. I don't remember which one it is on the top of my head, but it will nullify a type's damage, so keep that in mind. Now, its locations, it can be first fought in 1-1, but you're better off actually fighting it in 1-2. Alright, well now we can continue with the tutorial, because it says that we can now use skills. Yeah, you can use a skill when its turn counter reaches 0. Yep, I have already explained that tutorial. Those are ready to use when are marked with a flashing S. Choose Bash. As you can see, you can use Bash, which is a nice skill. Boom! And I go, oh look at that, we got a water block. I think that's scripted actually. You'll be able to use lots of skills in your adventure. Try out as many of them. That's kind of misleading. That's how you bet on that. Head on to the end of the course. Are we gonna be dealing with, I don't remember what we're dealing with in this battle. Are we just dealing, okay, yeah, we're just dealing with Goombas, that's fine. Now, yeah, something that the game hasn't told us yet, but you can actually target a very specific enemy by using the L and R buttons, or you can use the D-pad, whichever one works, but we're not gonna ignore that, we just need to match up orbs. Unfortunately, I have played this game a lot, so I do know how to match up orbs pretty effectively and get good combos. There is one small problem. I do kind of have to look down on my 3DS to drag my orbs, which means I'm kind of it means that my face is pointing a little away from the microphone. So if it suddenly gets hard to hear, that might be why. Unfortunately, there's not really a good way I can prevent that from being the case. What's this combo gonna be? Dang. There we go. Look at that. We got a wood block, which is nice. So we got, like, 2 items, I think. Yep, a wood block and a water block. That time I level 5 Goomba, but this time I level 1 Goomba, or Koopa even. Green Koopa. And this game functions a lot more like a Duty Mario game in a way where we're just going level by level. Hey Mario, I found someone who will be a new helper for you. The more helpers you have, the better. That's actually not even a lie at all. That's actually really true. Green Toad. You'll find more helpers the farther you go on your adventure. You'll always add a helper to your team before. You'll always have before you end. Yeah, you're forced to have a helper on your team. You can't have a team of not enough team members, but it doesn't really matter that much. When you enter a course, you'll need to pick out a team to use. Let's build one. Touch the edit team, or you can press Y. That works too. You have a total of 6 preset teams that you can create. So you can obviously do this. There are 6 of them. I just said that. Anyways, when making a team, you'll need to select a leader and allies. Select your leader first. You'll have Small Luigi to be the leader this time. Drag and drop the head into the position. So yeah, we can move over there. You can choose either of the bros to lead. The other ones can be chosen as helpers. Yeah, you'll notice that the Toads aren't here. Toads are not leaders. They're only helpers. Anyways, now to add the team. Touch the allies tab on the lower left. Right here, drag and drop all the enemies. So yeah, you do kind of have to do touchscreen stuff, unfortunately, but there isn't really a way you can do that. Anyways, there you go. That's all you need to do to create a team. You'll also put a different leader or ally on a team you've already made. You can edit teams when you enter a course. You can also do it at the Toad House, which is not anytime soon. Let's return to the select screens. Touch OK. So we get to the basic information. Oh, never mind it. There's more to read. Touch OK to confirm that you want to use Team 2, then pick a helper on the next screen. I could do that, but there is something I do want to do. It might take a bit of time to explain, but that's what you're all here for, I guess. Small Mario. No, I'm not even joking, that is his name. He is named Small Mario. He has only one type, being Fire type, and just for being a leader, he's essentially just your first leader, and not a good one even at that. 3 stars of HP, 2 stars of attack, and 2 stars of recovery isn't bad as for like an enemy like ally, but for a leader, that's not that useful. Now his skill is Mario Spin, which raises your team's attack by 20% for 3 turns. There's better skills that raise attack, and there's also one that does it for even more turns, but this isn't a bad skill. It's very rare to actually have a skill that just straight up boosts your attack stat, and not a specific ally's, like, and not a specific type. Now, its leader skill is a little interesting. Leader skills are the always active version of skills that, almost like Awoken skills. Treat them like Awoken skills. Now, this one is Mario Combo, which raises your attacks, which is your team's attack slightly after attacking with 2+ combos. You need to match 2 combos to get an attack multiplier, which is nice, but there are better skills that do this better, especially since the attack boost isn't even by that much. Now, Small Luigi. Small Luigi is slightly different. He doesn't have 3 stars of HP, he only has 2 stars of HP, 2 stars of attack, and 3 stars of recovery, which is nice, so you can tell about that, but that doesn't really make it that much of a difference. Now, Luigi skills Luigi Smash, which is the opposite, but still useful, of Mario Spin, which reduces the damage you take for 3 turns. It is also rare to have skills that just straight up reduce the amount of damage you take. And Small Luigi I feel like is better for that manner, because this actually is pretty useful no matter when you are in the game, whereas the attack boosts get obsolete the more team members that you have. So there you go. Luigi is technically better than Mario, or I guess Small Luigi is better than him. Now, the leader skill is the exact same as Small Mario's, which is Luigi Aura, which is, attack boost at 2+ combo. Not bad, but you generally, again, you have better options. But these are your first 2 leaders, so don't say no to them. Alright, now the game really wants us to hit OK, so I guess we will hit OK. And now we gotta select leader. I think I'm gonna go with Mario because I feel like it's just better if we have a team like this.
Let's go.
Mario Combo versus Luigi Aura, that'll work too. All right. Every now and then you'll see a radiating orb. Those are super orbs. If you clear a super orb, you'll do greater damage to enemies. Now see what kind of damage you can deal with these. So this is a the super orb, which is nice, but I'll be honest, these aren't really worth prioritizing unless you're in like very specific, unless you're in the post game or even like more accurately in score attack. But that's a later thing. I shall reiterate as well, even though many people probably don't know about this game, don't really care about spoiling stuff because it's gonna take me forever to get through some of the stuff I want to show off. That at this rate, it's just easier if I don't even bother. Try to not spoil stuff. Anyways, oh, okay, we've got more enemies. I really shouldn't be matching up the fire orbs that much, since, well, actually, no, the Goomba is weak. The game hasn't revealed to us yet, but there are also type effectiveness. It's actually very, very similar to Pokemon, so do keep that in mind. It's not that complicated, especially since there's only 5 types to keep track of. Alright, and I just realized there's something I'm gonna need to do after this battle, which also is very much like Pokemon, what you would probably want to do at the beginning of a playthrough. Excuse me. There we go. And we've hit the boss. What do we got? We have a bunch of green Koopas, right? Yep, just a bunch of green Koopas. This is what I mean by this level is probably better to grind them rather than the 1-1, because 1-1 really only has like 2 battles. This one has like 4 that'll use, and like some of them, or like this one has like this one battle has 3 of them, which could be really nice. Ooh, star coin. Now, sometimes enemies will drop this stuff, but this stuff is more like scripted. Like, it didn't really matter. Like, this is not a random drop, as far as I know. Unless it is, which is actually something I do want to get into. A whole bunch of the information that I have gathered for the series is information that I had to gather myself. Because again, there was not a lot of documentation about this game. And there is also a good chance that I might have missed something. So, if you guys have the game, and if you guys are willing to test out some stuff that may be wrong, then go ahead and tell me about it too, because I would love to share as much information as possible with this game. And there we go. We got our new level. Blue Toad is now a helper. That's a later thing. You have more options for your teams. Don't forget to add new leaders and allies to teams and include new helpers as well. You'll always edit the course. You'll always edit or create teams at the Toad House too, or you can always do that. Thank you for saving game. And now, are you gonna? Nope, it's still not gonna let me access my settings. Never mind. Like, will it? Petrocate. Oh, wow. Wow. It really won't let me. Okay, that's annoying. Okay, well, anyways, wow, we actually still don't really have that much. Like, again, we don't have any other allies other than these, which is annoying. Although, if you can look at the enemies found here section, there's a lot of information that will say. In fact, actually, I might as well just go over some of the information right now. 3 color cores, that means that only 4 types of orbs can spawn in 3 color cores. In a 4 color cores, well, okay. 3 color cores, only 3 different types of orbs can spawn, but the heart orb will always spawn, unless it's specifically a heartless course. We'll get into that more later. And the other 2 orb elements we haven't gone to yet, so we're gonna ignore those for now. Anyways, let's just bring in Mario. I know it really wants me to probably use Blue Toad and stuff, but I'll be honest, the Toads aren't actually that useful. You know what? Speaking of which, we should probably actually talk about them. Red Toad is a fire type with 2 stars of HP, 2 stars of attack, and 4 stars of recovery. The main issue I really have with the Toads is that you unlock them so early on, but their base stats don't really complement them very well, especially the later you get into the game. And maybe it's just me, but I also find that their skills and awoken skills, or not awoken skills, skills and helper skills don't really help that much. Anyways, Red Toad has Water Heart, which changes water orbs into heart orbs. It's not bad to have orbs be turned into heart orbs, especially the later you are in the game, but again, the issue is that its base stats, and combined with it only being a single type, being fire, it doesn't really help that much. It also doesn't help that his helper skill, which is Red Toad's support, which raises the attack, recovery, and HP of fire team members. This isn't bad, since it raises all of the stats, but they all have to specifically be fire team members, and unless your team is primarily fire, this skill kind of becomes useless after a while. And that honestly goes the same with almost every single Toad type. Blue Toad has slightly different stats, 2 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, and 4 stars of recovery, less attack for some reason, and all it really does is it really just changes the type and their skill. That's kind of how all the Toads work, so that means Wood Heart, which changes wood orbs into heart orbs. Again, not bad, but it kind of gets not really that useful, especially with these base stats being pretty low. And attack, recovery, and HP of water team members being increased just by entering a course, not bad, but you don't really get that much value from it. And we also have another team member, which is Green Toad, which I probably should have mentioned earlier. It's a wood type with Fire Heart, meaning it changes fire orbs into heart orbs. 2 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, 4 stars of recovery, pretty normal. And of course, Green Toad support, which is attack, recovery, and HP of wood team members specifically. Again, these, I'm gonna reiterate, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record also, these skills aren't bad, and Toads aren't bad for the early parts of the game, but the later you get, the less the Toads get that useful. Alright, now it is time to enter this course. In fact, actually, I just realized I might need to do some behind-the-scenes stuff, which doesn't matter. Oh, hello! There's a little more to learn later in this course. Battle onward for now. I mean, the audience is gonna have to wait a little longer because we do have a new enemy. So, yeah, unfortunately, we will have to wait then. Anyways, Paragoomba! Now, this is what I mean by everything is gonna get a little different from now on. We have, no, Paragoomba is actually a wood and light type, meaning that now we have a secondary type to deal with, but when you fight them as an enemy, their first type will always be the type that you'll be fighting them in, meaning Paragoombas will never be shown as light type. Keep that in mind. Now its base stats is 3 stars of HP, 3 stars of attack, and 3 stars of recovery. 3 all the way along the board. Not bad. Now its skill is actually pretty nice. Tackle, which does 20 times wood damage to a single foe. Compared that to Goomba, which was only 10 times, this Tackle is just stronger. Still only be able to target one opponent though, so that's kind of annoying. Its awoken skill is still the same of Wood Boost, which is more useful on Paragoomba because it's light type and genuinely stronger, but still not worth it. Now its item drops are a little weird. It can't actually drop Goomba blocks anymore, or wood blocks. It can drop Goomba coins, and it can drop P-Wings, which at random, which is nice, but its 10+ combo is Golden Mushrooms. Golden Mushrooms are actually a different kind of. These are not transformation items, these are skill items, and we'll learn about those later. But Golden Mushrooms are actually really good, and I do recommend you grind on them if you need to. Now its enemy skill is Tackle, which like Goomba, it's regular attack by stronger. Now, its locations that it can be fought is 1-3, which obviously is the level we're at. But the recommended level I recommend you grind them is 8-3. 8-3 is by far the best level to grind in this game. Unfortunately, you unlock that very late in the game, so you don't really get the opportunity to even grind in that. Alright, well now it does want us to kind of, you know, battle along or battle forward. I actually think I know what this is, too. But we're gonna have to, again, we have to get there. Let's do that, there we go. I probably should have matched up fire now that I think about it. Oh well. Ooh, okay, nice. Oh, look at that P-Wing, nice. Okay, that's actually really good though. Actually, that might have been scripted. I don't know. Either way. Like, I know like a bunch of the first battles are scripted. Oh, hello, okay. You've come up to the first branching path. You can choose a path by clearing more orbs of its color than others. This game is all about clearing orbs. Keep that in mind. Go down the pipe or on the right to clear some fire orbs than any other coin. Just do that. Boom. You had to clear more orbs. Like if you clear like 3 or 3, it'll stay the same. You'd need to completely have one side be more orbs. Anyways, you have found a question block, which has a special item inside. You can open a question block by completing an orb challenge in a certain number of turns. Try and open this. Spoilers, unless there's only one item where you'll have more than 3 turns to get an item. Every other question block will always have 3 turns. Now, a question block can have 1, 2, or 3 objectives, but similar to the 3 objectives one, that will only happen if the turn count is at 5 for you to have 3 objectives, and that's for one very specific item very late in the game, so you don't need to worry about that. So a question block can have 1 or 2 objectives for now. The objectives are pretty simple. A lot of times it's clear a certain color of orb. Sometimes it'll be clear a certain group of orbs, which means you have to match up specifically that orb type combined with that number in a group. It can't just be like separately. Like here it says clear 7, that means they need to clear 7 orbs. They don't have to be all together, it just has to be 7 orbs. When it says clear on a group, it does mean that it has to specifically be those groups in total. There's also another one, which is where you have to get a certain amount of combos to open the question mark block. There's probably more objectives. These are the 3 that I know on the top of my head, and probably the only ones that I'm thinking about it. Actually, no, there's 2 more, but I'm not going to worry about those. We just need to clear them. That'll work, probably. That's 6, so we need to get... Okay, yeah, like that. And then we just do this. Boom. Alright, nicely done. You opened it, and got the item inside. Now battle your way through the course at the end, or battle your way to the end of the course. You got coins, pretty lame reward. You can actually get some pretty good stuff. Although that's mostly later in post-game stuff, sadly, so... You're kind of dealing with kind of okay-ish stuff, but it does reduce the grind a little in most situations. But there is also one thing we do need to cover, as we do have another new enemy here. So, yep, it's time to talk about Red Koopa Troopa, who's actually a fire type, so it actually makes a lot of sense. 3 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, and 0 stars of recovery. Really strange. I'm pretty sure Red Koopa is the only Koopa that has 0 stars of recovery. Again, really strange, but okay. Its skill is Red Shell, which is literally the exact same thing as Green Shell, but changes water orbs into fire orbs. Which is really interesting, because if you combine it with Green Shell, which turns wood to water, that means you can change your wood and water orbs into fire orbs. Really, keep that in mind if you ever want to use that tactic, if you decide to bring in green and Red Koopa. Now its Woka skill is Fire Boost, which is the exact same thing as Wood Boost, but with fire instead of wood, so yeah. and then we have its item drops, which is a Fire Block, which would contain the Koopa inside, the Red Koopa. Doesn't have a 10+ combo item. Has enemy skill is Red Shell, which, like Green Shell, nullifies the element of a very specific type. Again, I don't remember, I think it's wood, but I might be wrong. That can be fought in 1-1 and recommended to fight in 1-3, or not 1, why did I say 1-1? 1-3. But there's probably a better level to grind it. This is just the one that I know will work. And we're back here. Okay, what do I want to do? I mean, I really shouldn't need to think that hard. It's literally the early game. Oh no. Aw, I tried to do a diagonal. You can actually diagonally connect your orbs, but it's pretty hard to do that. This is probably enough to KO them all. Yeah. I really don't need to think that hard. Ooh, 2 P-Wings. That's actually really good, though. We got 2 P-Wings. Although, I don't think we'll be able to get use out of the P-Wings yet. Alright, Goomba joined our team. And the green Koopa, but more importantly, the red Koopa joins our team. Which is what we care about. Look at that. That is a fire type. So now we actually have a fire type ally rather than just, you know, stuff. Now we get to go across this bridge, but that's a different thing. Ooh, next up, what's coming up next is going to be really, really interesting. You can now power up teammates at the Toad House. You'll do it by transferring XP from allies to another teammate. Is it going to force me to do that now? Yes, it is. Head to the Toad House before continuing. Yes, it will be. Okay, well, that's a little unfortunate. A Toad House has all sorts of useful spots that you can help to develop your team. 2 spots are currently open. Head to the power up spot. So you can edit your team here, which can always be nice, but we also have the power up section, which is sort of like Pokemon Go in a way, where you might have like extra Pokemon that you don't want. You can transfer them to get candy. This has a very similar mechanic. You can transfer XP from allies to another here. Now the way this works is that you select actually it might tell me. You can transfer XP from allies to a single teammate here. It'll it's a quick way to develop them outside of battle. Give it a try. So we need to select a teammate. Doesn't matter who. I guess I'll just select the red one. Well, no. I'll select this. There we go. Now choose an ally to depower for XP. You can pick more than one. The way this teammate getting the XP will be stronger. Again, you kind of just select team members that you don't want. Let's just say I don't want these 3 team members. What will happen is, it says depower. But it actually means depower and disappear. That will be completely gone. But you essentially just use their essence to give this one ally experience. And doing this can give you, it can give you a level up, which is really nice. And there you go, that's exactly how you use that. Not that bad. And then the edit team is essentially like the team builder that you have when you begin a level, but it can be a little more helpful. Like here, it's like, I know I'm gonna want Red Koopa, so I might as well do that. And there's a bunch of other things, but we haven't unlocked them yet. You'll unlock them later in the game. So we will ignore that for now. Now, something I want to check, though, is how many levels there are. Okay, there's one. If I do one more level this episode, I think I'll be fine. That will work for me. I know that this video will probably be kind of short, but I kind of can't have this video be too long due to personal reasons, especially since I need to do a lot of editing. Anyways, let's go ahead and enter with this team, and we'll select Mario for that extra fire coverage. Yeah. Oh wow, that's a lot of wood damage. I guess it makes sense. We have 3 wood team members, and we have like no water.
Let's go.
Are we gonna encounter? Yep, I kind of figured as much. We're gonna be encountering some new enemies here, which I think you know the drill by now. New enemy means new bio that we have to start talking about here. Yellow Koopa Troopa. Interesting that we have yellow Koopas, and it's also interesting that they use the exact same sprite or like image for the red Koopa, but just yellow. But it is actually a new type we haven't encountered yet. Light type. This is obviously represented by a star. It's 3 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, and 1 star of recovery. Now its skill is Yellow Shell, which changes fire orbs into light orbs. So if you combine that with the fact that, you know, that green shell from Green Koopa changes wood orbs to water orbs, and we know that Red Koopa's red shell changes water orbs into fire orbs, that means that you can combine that with Yellow Koopa's yellow shell to make fire orbs into light orbs. That means you can change your wood, water, and fire orbs into light orbs. If you just want to do that for some unknown reason. I don't know, maybe you really need to attack with light. Fair enough, that is a really worth it combo to do, and I wouldn't necessarily say no to doing that. Now its awoken skill is Light Boost, which, I mean, again, is like Fire Boost, Water Boost, Wood Boost, but, you know, with light. Now its item drops, of course, is like normal. It's going to be a light block with no chance to drop anything in a 10+ combo. Now its enemy skill is Yellow Shell. I don't actually remember what this nullifies, but I wouldn't be surprised if it nullifies Dark. I don't know about that, though. Now first spot, oh wow, this is wrong. Wow. How did I never check that? That's supposed to be 1-4. This is wrong. I'll have to do that in editing. But yeah, no, you first fight them in 1-4, and I would still recommend that you fight them in this level, or the secret level that you can unlock in this, after beating this level in a very specific way, which is really, really nice. Alright, now we can go fight you guys. Now, unfortunately, I can't hit you with your type weakness because I don't have Dark Orbs or even any Dark team members. So we're just gonna have to attack normally, but that's fine. Now, I'm not sure if I can confirm this, because I'm not sure if it's actually true. But I want to say that the higher combo you get that's not a 10 combo, the more likely they're gonna drop their like, random items. I'm honestly quite unsure about that. Oh wow, we're not even done. We have a new enemy here as well. This is actually a really different enemy, though. Because unlike the more basic, like, Goombas and Koopas we've been fighting, we have a Cheep Cheep, and there's a lot of differences between Cheep Cheep and all the other enemies. How exactly? Okay, well, they're still water type, but their stats are very low in HP, very low in attack, but 3 in recovery, so if you need recovery, pick Cheep Cheep. Cheep Cheep is really nice for that manner. Now, its skill is actually not an attacking skill, but an orb-changing skill. Okay, well, it is an orb-changing skill, but it does more than that. Its skill is Heal Bubble, heals 1000 HP, and changes wood to heart orbs. So, you're essentially using your turn to heal. This is actually really good, because a lot of times, again, I don't want to be sounding like a broken record, but especially in the late game, healing is really important. Or sometimes, it's just really nice to have a higher chance to survive. Now, the focus skill is Water Boost. It's not that useful. I'd honestly recommend you just transform it and keep it as a Cheep Cheep. Now, its item drops is a Water Block and a Cheep Cheep coin. Cheep Cheep coins are used to transform other team members, but I don't think Cheep Cheep uses them, which is kind of weird. And its 10+ combo is Cheep Cheep coins. Not bad, but again, you don't really need too many of them. Now, its enemy skill is Heal Bubble, which does the exact same thing as it would do for you as it does for the enemy. It heals them. So, yeah, that's a little something you need to be careful of, but you just kind of have to worry. There's not much you can really do to really prevent enemies from easy kills. Actually, there is one way, but that's anywhere soon. Now, its locations is actually correct this time. We have 1-4 for when you first find it. But I actually recommend you go to 2-4, because 2-4 is already a nice level to grind for other very specific items. Now, hopefully no more enemies, because I don't want to have to do this a bunch. This gets annoying after a while. But that's fine. Let's just... Wow, there's a lot of water. There's a lot of water. There was a lot of water there. Ooh, P-Wing. Okay. Nice. Getting more P-Wings are nice, because we're gonna need a bunch of them. Although, I will admit, you get maybe a little too many P-Wings in this game, I'd say. Now, it says to go into the pipe, you need to connect light orbs. If you saw in this level earlier, you saw that you couldn't actually connect light orbs. That's the thing. You actually cannot clear this on your first go-through. In fact, there's no way to get into this pipe. Normally, you have to have a skill that changes orbs into light orbs to enter this pipe. And even then, it's not guaranteed, because you could still potentially fail. But that is something that's really interesting. These are what, I'm pretty sure these are referred to as secret exits, which it makes sense, because in order to get there, you kind of have to know to do that. But, yep. And actually, in the next episode, we'll be able to do that easily, since we now have Yellow Goof Trooper, which, as you saw, changes fire to light orbs. Okay. We got that. I was planning to go through the entirety of World 1, but this is taking quite a while, and I don't know if I will be able to do that easily. Actually, maybe I can. Okay. Let's do... that. That'll work. Hopefully that'll work. Oh wow, that's a lot of fire. Okay, yeah, we're good. Oh, wait, 10? Aww. We were so close to a 10+ combo. It would've given me that golden mushroom, which would've been nice. Star coin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's scripted, because they don't... That wasn't a 10+ combo. But star coins are also good. Or maybe they can drop star coins. I don't know. But that wouldn't really make that much sense, because the item that you use to power them up isn't star coins, it's berries. Actually, no, I think it's fruits. I think in English UK, Australia, it's berries. Yeah. Okay. You got Yellow Toad as a helper. See, now you have another way to change orbs into light orbs. Is what you would think, right? Well, no. Actually, that's not true, and it'll make more sense once we actually get to your bio real quick. Alright, Yellow Toad. Obviously light type, 2 stars of HP, 1 star of attack, 4 stars of recovery, normal. Now it has Dark Heart, which changes dark orbs into heart orbs. So yeah, it doesn't actually, you can't just use light team members now. It doesn't work. Its helper skill is Yellow Toad support, which is light team members getting attack, attack recovery and HP boost. But since we don't really have that many light team members, he's actually kind of useless. But he is probably the more useful, like Toad, because you are likely to have a lot of light team members the further you are in the game. Especially in the case we're in right now, where we actually don't have any way to have dark team members. So yeah, probably the most useful Toad. No, that's not saying much though, unfortunately. And actually, well, I think I'm going to end this first video here. We went through 4 levels. 3 of them were pretty much tutorials, which is unfortunate because there isn't really a way that you can prevent that. But the game does really need to explain a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm hoping that I was able to explain a bunch of stuff that the game does not tell you. Because, spoilers, there's a lot of the information that I'm telling you through all the bios is information the game doesn't tell you. So, yep, that is where a lot of the reason why you would probably want to watch my series right now. I'm going to be trying to do my best to cover everything I can about this game. But other than that, I'm going to end this first video here. And hopefully this series will continue to be a great one. And the main reason why I'm saying this is because this is going to take a long time. I already know about that. But I am ending it here. You let an 8-ball fall. Goodbye!